Leah Musunga back to the stage. Please help me welcome Leah Musunga back to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for that warm welcome. And as she said, our meeting for today is starting strong. And I think before we get going, maybe I'll just request for the our agenda to be shared in the chat so that you'll be able to follow along. And as this is our first meeting, if you have joined us while Tumelo was giving the welcome remarks, again, I want to say compliments of the new year. It's always great to be able to make it into the new year, as lots of things can happen in a previous year. So I want to say compliments and welcome everyone to Gaborone Toastmasters. Maybe in the chat, you can just share with us where you are joining us from, because I'm sure there are a few of you joining us from various places. So just write in the chat where it is that you are joining us from, so we can definitely welcome you even more. Our theme today is starting strong. So obviously at the beginning of the year, we set up goals and maybe plans. You don't want to say the word goals. And as the year progresses, things happen, as we know they happen. And towards the end of the year, we're looking back, wondering what happened to what I was planning to do during the year. There's a phrase I have heard quite a lot in Toastmasters. It says, you never have to recover from starting out strong. So that's just something to say that once you start out well or you start out strong, you never have to recover. So in today's meeting, I hope you will definitely be encouraged as you continue on your public speaking or leadership journey, to note that start off strong so that you don't have to recover from that. And I'm sure you would have experienced that in many different avenues of your own life, in terms of when you started out strong, you didn't have to recover. But whenever you start off on a shaky ground, it's very easy for the plans or the goals that you have to slowly not actually get achieved. So like I said, I definitely hope that you will be encouraged today. So the next part of our agenda is where we give a toast. Oh, before we get to that, I want to encourage you all, if you can grab a cup or a juice or a water bottle with whatever you'll be having. And I can see our chat is really lighting up. People talking about where they're joining us. Ramu Overking saying from Ramutswa. Oh, from India. Oh, Indila from Namibia. Wow. Gerald from Eastern Cape. I can see, I hope I'm saying it right, Shanshan Kosi from Durban, South Africa. Zoli joining us from Gaborone. Yeah, this is amazing. Lots of people joining us. Another person joining from Kopong, Botswana. Wow, this is amazing. Lots of people joining us. And that's the beauty of an online meeting, is that you can be in another place without going through the border gate or driving, and with the stress that comes with driving. So I hope you have grabbed yourself a cup, because I am the person in charge of giving the toast for the day. And as stated, our theme for today is starting strong. I remember there was once a time when I decided that I wanted to work on my fitness. And that would mean I actually wanted to participate in a 10-kilometer race. And what did that entail? It meant that I had to come up with a plan on exactly how I was going to train and get into shape. And I think I only had like 3 months to get into shape. And I actually had a goal of the time that I wanted to achieve running this 10K. So I wanted to finish it in at least 1 hour, 10 minutes. That was my finishing goal time. So in those 3 months, I was able to get a friend along who helped me to train, and I would run with her. And we trained about 3 times every week during the week. And then on a Saturday, we'll do an extended run. And lo and behold, when the race actually happened, I was able to actually achieve my goal. And I think I did it in 1 hour, 8 minutes. And that is the power when we decide on a goal and then we actually work on it. I'd like to encourage you all, fellow Toastmasters, our guests, as we are right at the beginning of this calendar year and thinking about all the amazing things that we want to achieve, that whatever it is you're looking to achieve, that you do realize, of course, that it does require work, and that you will start strong. So please join me as we toast to starting out strong. Starting out strong.
Out strong.
Starting out strong.
Starting out strong.
Strong.
Starting out
Starting
strong.
out strong.
Starting out strong.
Yes, definitely.
To starting out strong.
Amazing. All right, I can still see people are writing, joining from Tlokwen. Yeah, amazing. That's the few, one of our new members. Yay. So as stated, I am the Toastmaster of the day, but I'm not doing this job all by myself. I have a couple of people who will be assisting me along the way. So I'd like to invite those people to the virtual stage to please tell us about their role and what it is they'll be doing in the meeting today. So I was going to call our timer, but I'm noticing our timer is not on the call right now. So I'll then move on to our counter helper. If you could please come to the virtual stage and tell us about your role this evening.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening to everybody and fellow guests. So my role tonight as the R counter is very simple. It is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. These words may be inappropriate interjections, such as and, well, but, so, and you know, as well as many other words of that ilk. These sounds reflect, normally as one person said, that your lips are moving faster than your mind. Just joking. But in a way, it just shows that you are not properly pacing yourself as a speaker. So I'll be noting that so that you're aware of them. And next time you speak, you can minimize them, if not avoid them at all. Thank you. And that's all from me. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. I'll now move on to our next role player, and that is our hack master, Wipilo. If you could please come to the virtual stage and tell us about your role today.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role is the hack master, which is a role that helps us develop our listening skills. Well, the listening skills will be able to effectively communicate. Because if you cannot understand what the speaker is saying, it would be difficult for you to effectively contribute to the discussions or for you to communicate effectively. So I will be listening in. I'll be listening to all the speakers and noting down a few questions that I would later on ask you to check if you've been listening carefully. So please do listen, and then we will have a chat later on. I thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Wipilo. As she said, we are supposed to listen. So give our full attention to our speakers this evening. So I'll then call up our table topics master, Bonolo, to please come to the virtual stage and tell us about your role this evening.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My role today as a table topics master is just to facilitate the table topics that we put forth. So the purpose of this is to just for the audience to practice impromptu speaking or speeches that are not prepared for. So I will give out a topic and then I will expect my audience to answer on that specific topic. That is basically my role for today. I thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that, Bonolo. And I would like to request if there are from any visiting Toastmaster, I do not have a grammarian, unfortunately, last minute. The grammarian had an emergency. So is there any Toastmaster who could assist us? The word of the day is already on our agenda. So it's just to keep track of the words. You can raise your hand if you're able to assist us with that, or any Toastmaster, even from Gaborone Toastmasters. Anybody? I don't see any hands yet. Okay. And then our timer.
Okay, let me take it then, Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, sorry. Who's speaking?
That's Helper.
Oh, helper. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, yeah, so you'll be doing double duty. Grammarian and accountant. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that, helper. Okay. And then our final, our penultimate role player should be our timer. And I'm not seeing our timer on the call. I don't know what has happened. But maybe she's on the way. Maybe she's on the way. But in the meantime, maybe I can just share what the timer's role is. So the timer is the person who keeps track of all that is happening in the meeting. So with the speeches, they are all timed. So some of them range 4 to 6 minutes, and then others are 5 to 7 minutes. So I do have the timing background, so maybe I'll assist until the timer arrives. So when you have reached your minimum time, like for an icebreaker speech, it will show the green. When you reach 5 minutes, indicating you're left with 1 minute, will show the yellow. And then when you've reached the maximum time, the red will show, indicating you've got 30 seconds to wrap up. So with the 5 to 7 minute speeches, when you reach 5 minutes, it's green. When you reach 6 minutes, yellow. And then when you reach the maximum, red, indicating you have got 30 seconds to wrap up. We also have table topics this evening. So table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes for you to speak. So when you reach the minimum time, 1 minute, which will show the green. When you reach 1 minute 30, yellow. And then when you reach the maximum 2 minutes, the red will show. So I'll just put that for now while we wait for our timer. But otherwise, I'll then finally call our general evaluator to come to the virtual stage. Gerald, if you could please come to the virtual stage and tell us about your role this evening.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. My role this evening is to keep track of the proceedings of the meeting in terms of the time allocations, how the meeting flowed based on the agenda that was presented, and then take this and give feedback at the end of the meeting, just in terms of how the meeting was explored. Also, part of my role is to introduce the different role players to give their feedback of the meeting, and that will then conclude the formal sections of the meeting. Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Gerald, for that. And with that being said, fellow Toastmasters and guests, we're now going to get into the first part of our meeting. So our meeting is divided into three parts. So the first part is where we have the prepared speeches. So these are people who have spent maybe a week up to 2 weeks preparing for their speeches. And then afterwards, we're going to get into the second part where we have the impromptu speaking. So that's the table topics part. And then finally, we're going to have feedback. So that is the evaluation. So the people who have presented today, they will receive feedback for their speeches as a way, obviously, to help them to improve in their follow-up speeches. With that being said, our first speaker of the evening is actually a new member of our club. So they're actually presenting what is referred to as an icebreaker speech. But before they come to the virtual stage, I would like to invite their evaluator, Lame, to please come to the virtual stage and tell us about the speech objectives of Khalaletsang's speech this evening.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and to our wonderful esteemed guests. This evening, I have the privilege of evaluating Khalaletsang, who will be doing or giving her icebreaker, which is the very, very first speech to give in your Toastmaster. The objective of Khalaletsang's speech is for her to introduce herself to the club. Or she has an option of sharing why she joined Toastmasters, or just tell us about herself so that we get to know her better. I'm excited about this and looking forward to hearing Khalaletsang's speech. All the best, Khalaletsang, with your icebreaker speech.
All right. Thank you so much, Lame, for that. So I'd just like to request for Khalaletsang to please switch on her camera so you can be spotlighted. I know she was here. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Just hold on, Khalaletsang. I need to introduce
Oh.
you properly. Then I'll introduce you. All right. So with the speech title, A Glimpse into Who I Am, A Glimpse into Who I Am, please help me welcome Khalaletsang Mutusi.
Good afternoon to my fellow Toastmasters. I am Khalaletsang Mutusi, a young lady aged 33 years old. Thank you for this opportunity to become a part of the Toastmasters Club, a club that I believe that it's for young leaders who are aspiring to reach their goals in their professional areas. Yeah, so I am excited as well to become part of this journey. Like I've said, I am a young woman, aged 33 years old, and I am God-fearing as well. So I hail from a village called Nlakhwane. It's a beautiful place. For those who are far, I heard that some are from South Africa. Please visit us. It is such a beautiful place. Today I will be talking on my speech, which is a glimpse into who I am. I believe that who we are is not about the facts about ourselves, but it's about our experiences, our values, and the decisions that we've taken and have shaped us into who we are. I believe, first and foremost, I believe in growth. I believe that there are opportunities for learning. There are vast opportunities for learning out there. So yeah, so in this journey of growth and learning, I aspire to be a CEO and in an esteemed bank in the next 10 years. And in order to achieve this, certain things that I've done, I have done an MBA. I've completed a few certificates, an MBA, as well as a degree in business administration. And currently where I work, I am currently being groomed to be the next COO in the next 2 years. And apart from that, I've had a fair share of achievement. Apologies. I was a top performer. I was one of the top performers. And yeah, I get to work closely with senior managers who get to groom us, who get to coach us into becoming the next leaders of tomorrow. And I believe that I am a change agent. I can bring the necessary changes to any environment or sphere that I'm in. I believe in change. So yeah, so definitely there is okay, so I will continue. And then currently I work in a banking industry called Access. I have 7 years of experience where I have been a team leader or a supervisor in a unit called Central Reconciliation Unit. And I have also was promoted last year to a manager role. And this is because I am hardworking, I am resilient, and I believe in setting high expectation for myself. And I've also had a few or a fair share of challenges and failures along my journey to growing. I once paid 20,000 pula for I think it was 3 sessions just for coaching, but it wasn't fruitful. Along my journey of learning in school also, I've failed, but because I believe in working hard, I had to overcome those challenges and the failures along the way. In my spare time, I love to read inspiring books. I'm currently reading The Diary of a CEO. And also, I love to watch a few series here and there, and spend some quality time with my friends or family members. Yeah, so in conclusion, I am just like any other individual. I am on a journey to learn, develop, and be the future or the best person that I can be. That's the end of my speech.
Sorry. So I would like to request for us, since this was our first speech, to please give her a big round of applause. Normally we do this for a first speech. So let me hear that. Unmute yourself. Woo, 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 woo. Well done. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Yeah, well done in presenting your first speech. See, you said COO in training. Wow, very amazing. I realized that I had forgotten for our grammarian that he was supposed to have introduced the word of the day. So let me just backtrack a little bit. Helper, could you please come to the virtual stage and just introduce the word of the day for us today, so our speakers can use it.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So the word of the day is initiate, meaning to start something. Unfortunately, I don't have it open here, but I can just read that particular example, just 1 second, so that you can easily relate with it. Here's the word of the day. The example is example. The purpose is to initiate discussion on planning procedures. So it's to start something. Initiate. Kindly use the word of the day accordingly. Thank you, and over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. And as he stated, our word of the day today is initiate. So it's always amazing when people decide to initiate their own Toastmasters journey and they don't have to wait for a boss or someone to say, I think you need to do this, but they take that active step in their own journey. So we'll then move on to our next speaker of the evening, and that is Tumelo Mapalala. But before I call Tumelo to the virtual stage, I'd like to invite Tumelo's evaluator, with a general evaluator, to come to the stage and give us Tumelo's speech objectives.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. This evening, it gives me great pleasure to evaluate Tumelo on a speech from the Pathway Effective Coaching. And she is on level 1 and doing her second project. And the purpose of this project is to initiate a speech with purpose and a speech that is written effectively. So that's essentially what I'll be looking for, the basic methods of writing a speech with purpose. Thank you so much. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. And I think I saw, Tumelo, your camera was also already open. So with the speech title, have you told 2025 what it needs to do for you? Have you told 2025 what it needs to do for you? Tumelo Mapalala.
If 2025 could hear you talk, what would you say to it? I'll give you a moment. Please feel free to utilize the chat and respond to this question. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, and guests. Paulo Coelho in his book, The Alchemist, wrote, "And if you want something, all of the universe conspires in making it happen." I think this statement rings true of all experiences in my life, because I really did get the things I set my mind to. However, I still was quite the skeptic. When manifestation came into play, I thought, what is that? But soon after came the dawn of setting New Year's resolutions. I tried that. I don't think it worked. For the most fact, I don't think I understood how exactly it worked. Along the way came vision boards. I wondered, okay, vision boards, I get the idea. I have Pinterest, and anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with that app. And my Pinterest was what I thought was my vision board. Until last year when I gave vision boarding a real try. I made a vision board on Canva, put a collage of a few pictures that I thought I could manifest into my life. Unfortunately, because I didn't know what I was doing, I chucked it to the back of my phone and I completely forgot about it. At the end of the year, the last week of the year to be specific, I went back on my phone, found that vision board, and found out more than half the things I put on that vision board came true. That led me to think, and eventually conclude, you can command your year to do exactly what you want it to. But Timel, how do you do this, you might ask? Well, I have a simple 4-step formula. First and foremost, set the vision. You need to set the vision for your year. How you do it is entirely up to you, but what's important is that it be a clear vision of what you intend to do or have achieved in this year. You can do this through vision boards. Some do it through prayer boards. Some even use what they call journals. Yes, some journal, just to keep it more private and less out there. But the purpose is to be very specific about what you intend to do in this year. For example, don't say, I want success. What exactly is success to you? Make this vision clear and have it clear as day in your mind. Some even prefer to meditate on it and actually visualize it. That's step 1. Step 2 is speak life into your year. Be positive, use positive language, and most importantly, use positive self-talk. This is where affirmations and declarations come into play. An affirmation is a statement such as, I am enough, I am deserving, I can be successful. However, when your year is concerned, rather say, this year I intend on focusing on improving my health and achieving my fitness goals. That's a very specific goal and a quite positive one because you do not intend to deviate. Positive self-talk is indeed very important because it has been known to influence our health, our mental health, as well as our general well-being. Now, step 3. Step 3 is take action and be accountable. You can't just command your year with words and then sit back and relax and do nothing. You need to actually align with action. You need to do the work. You can't just say this and then sit back and relax. How you do this is you divide that larger goal into smaller bite-sized goals that are easier to manage. For example, if I speak of improving my fitness and exercising more, I could perhaps say I will take a brisk walk every day. This is a smaller and more measurable goal. And each day I take a walk. If I don't, I know I have not set or done any work towards this goal, and I know to do better. I can also keep myself accountable by sharing with those in my life. Some people are skeptical with sharing their goals with their family and friends because apparently people are evil and they have bad vibes. But sharing or admitting publicly to at least one person that can be your accountability partner will help you a great deal. This person can be a mentor, such as what we have here at Toastmasters, or a friend, or even your journal if you don't want it to be a physical person. However, this accountability ensures you stay on track. Lastly, and fourthly, the last in our step is prepare for challenges. Life will life, as the youth of this day say. My best friend says that life is fair because it's unfair to all of us. And I couldn't agree more because the obstacles and the challenges will come. You will be beaten down on this path. I, for one, started the year having lost my favorite cousin, and I refuse to let it set the tone for the rest of my year. But rather, I'll channel these setbacks as opportunities to grow and also practice a gratitude mindset while I'm going through these challenges because there's indeed an opportunity to learn something. Like I said, I lost my favorite cousin, but I'm grateful for the life he lived. I'm thankful for the time we spent together, and I cherish the memories. Now, in conclusion, have you told 2025 what it needs to do for you? I implore you to set your goals and your intentions for the year right now. Don't let the year happen to you. Set those goals and get to work. I thank you.
Woo-woo! I think we can give a big hand to our speakers today. Woo, 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 woo. Well done. And I definitely saw lots of people responding in the chat. Have you told 2025 what it should do for you? And there's been quite a lot of response in the chat. I like this. Let's keep the chat moving. Let's keep it alive and interacting more, because yeah, we're really getting inspired today. We'll then move on to our next speaker. So that would be Tsepo. But before Tsepo comes to the virtual stage, I would like to invite Tsepo's evaluator, Kabelo, to please come to the virtual stage and tell us about Tsepo's speech objective.
All right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I take pleasure tonight in introducing Tsepo Taba. Tsepo will be giving us a speech titled Winning Starts at Your Beginning. The purpose of the speech is for Tsepo to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback and apply feedback to a second speech. And it's therefore intended to solicit feedback from the evaluator. So with that, Tsepo, can I invite you to give your delivery for tonight? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kabelo, for that. And I can see Tsepo, you are there. Okay. Yeah, a bit. There's a bright light in front of you. We can't see your face. We just see a bright light.
Okay, let me just try and.
I don't know if there's too much light where you are.
Is that
Oh,
better?
there we go.
Background.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with the speech title, oh gosh, now I've forgotten. So with the speech title, Winning Starts at Your Beginning. Winning starts at your beginning, Tsepo Taba.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! New Year's resolution, planning, journaling, vision boards, new year, new me. Like Tumelo, do this statement sound familiar? Toastmaster of the day, fellow toasties and guests, good evening and a very warm welcome to the year 2025. We are just 14 days into the new year. So far, how is that going with your new year, new me goals? I'll start. Don't worry. I'll give you a moment, brother, to answer that question honestly. How is that going with your new year, new me goals? 1. Right. Don't worry and don't be shy to answer this question honestly. I'll start. I've read a book by Robin Sharma called The 5 a.m. Club. This year, I then decided, yeah, I am joining the 5 a.m. crew. I'm gonna start my mornings 5 a.m. Guess what? Guess how that is going? With just 14 days into the year, guess how that is going for me? Embarrassing. A quote from the same book says, winning starts at your beginning. Own your morning, and the quality of your day rises exponentially. Some say start your day by just making up your bed, and the order of your day is set. I tried that. Oh boy, am I not impressed. Who would have thought that just incorporating such a simple change to my morning habits would just change and set a positive effect throughout my day? Winning at that seemingly small task sets out a winning mood throughout my day. Now back to the new year, new me statement. Personally, I have decided to incorporate the same concept of winning begins at your start into the year 2025 to set the tone for the rest of my year. To begin a race, it is very important to have a good start. If there are any athletes here, they can attest to that. It gives you the very much needed head start for the race. I'm going to give you 4 simple tips for you to set yourself into the winning mode for the year 2025. Number 1, review your past goals and your past habits. Make sure that you let go of the vague goals. Assess your goals and make sure that they are smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. You might want to also let go of all the bad habits that have been hindering you from achieving your goals. Number 2, you might really want to come closer because you don't want to miss this one. Declutter, 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 declutter. One mistake that we make is having so many goals that cluster our focus throughout the year. Like I already said, let go of the unimportant, vague goals. Set clear goals and declutter even some friendship that you know they are not adding value. Those friendships that are just not working out. Declutter. Number 3, you need to be intentional. Be very intentional. Do not initiate anything that you don't intend on finishing this year, 2025. Lastly, you need to hold yourself accountable, either through having an accountability partner, just like Dumelo already said. Have an accountability partner, a friend that will hold you accountable for each and every goal that you have set. It will also help you check the progress on your goals. You can also hold yourself accountable by having weekly reviews of your goals or monthly reviews of your goals to assess if there are any improvements that you need to do to your habits. I can never emphasize the importance of winning at your beginning. The importance of winning in this particular month of the year. Winning at the start of the year. Set yourself for winning in this particular year by giving yourself a head start, by working hard and winning in this first year. I hope this inspires you to work hard and make sure that 2025, your new year, new me, is relevant and very, very meaningful. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Woo, woo. Give Tefo a big hand. Woo. Well done, well done.
Yay.
Indeed, I feel like so many gems are being shared today. And want to remind you, if you feel like, oh no, I might be missing quite a lot, our video is going to be shared. The recording of our meeting is going to be shared on our Facebook page. So make sure to follow it. The link that you had to register to enter this meeting also has our YouTube page, which is Gaborone Toastmasters Reloaded. So you can have a chance to go back and get some of the gems that we are getting from our speakers this evening. We'll move on to our next speaker, and that is Hasina. But before I call Hasina to the virtual stage, I'd like to invite her evaluator, Bashati, to please come to the virtual stage and tell us about her senior speech objective.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I'm not sure if I'm visible, whatever the case, but like I had shared on the side, I have load shedding. Good evening, Toastmasters, and a very good evening to you, Hasina. Today, I am privileged to be evaluating your speech, which is understanding your leadership style. The purpose of this project is for Hasina to identify his or her leadership style and also to share some aspects of his or her primary leadership style. I'll be looking on to seeing that this speech is well organized and also seeing how the speaker decided to own up to that leadership style. And we are expecting either it to be humorous, informative, or any style that the speaker would be choosing. And as I'm looking onto the screen, okay, I can't see the screen that you had shared, Leah. I can't tell the project title and the speech title. So please just do help me with that. Thank you so much. Over to you, Leah.
All right, no worries. So Hasina is doing a level 2 project. And in Toastmasters, there are 5 levels that we go through as we are progressing in whatever pathway that we are doing. So Hasina is doing presentation mastery. So she's now reached level 2. Level 2. So she's giving a speech from the project Leadership Style. And Hasina, I don't know if your camera is on. If you can just switch on your camera so you can be spotlighted. All right, there she is. So with the speech title, Role of Responsibility, Hasina Hamdani.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and the esteemed guest. The title of today's speech is The Roar of Responsibility. So, how do you define a leader? Is it power, position, or the popularity? Not necessarily. The true leadership means the action. A leader initiates action with clarity when path is uncertain. A leadership stands firmly when he is surrounded by doubts. A leadership embraces responsibility, not for the glory, but for greater good. Today, I am going to reveal 2 moments of my life which will tell you about my leadership style, and it will also tell me that how do I make decision when the need of leadership arises. In 2001, I was working as a gynecologist in Tata Hospital, India, when the threat of tsunami loomed, and there was a high suspicion that if it intensifies, the movement would be impossible. And amid that chaos, one pregnant lady initiated her labor pains. If condition permits, if everything goes would have gone naturally. She would have delivered naturally. But my mind was racing with multiple questions. What if we wait and the anesthetist couldn't come at a later time when it is needed? What if the storm stop the pediatrician to attend the baby? What if a normal appearing condition would change into a disaster? The answer was clear. As they say, a stitch in time saves nine. I had to take the action. I planned for immediate cesarean section. To convince the family was a challenge, and to persuade my head of the department was even tougher. But I knew that every passing moment matters a lot. We performed the surgery, and mother and baby were saved. A smile crosses my face even today when I recall that the family named that baby Tsunami. And believe me, hours later, the storm unleashed its fury, and the access to the hospital was severed completely. That moment taught me that leadership is about taking strong action when when the situations are tough. Leadership is about standing up for your conviction, for your cause, even when others doubt. Fast forward to 2024, in April, I got an urgent call from India that my brother had suffered a minor stroke. Initially, the diagnosis seemed reassuring, but something in my gut told me something otherwise. I insisted for further investigations, and you know what? It seemed that there was a 90% block in this left carotid artery, the artery which supplies blood to the brain. This was a dangerous situation if we don't tackle it immediately. The physicians there, neurophysicians there, were hesitant because it involved high risk for failure and complications. I have to, I decided to transfer my brother to far in south part of the India, South India, which involves air travel and complications. My family questioned me. My niece asked me, "Are you sure? Do you think it will not further complicate the situation?" I said firmly, knowing that responsibilities rest on my shoulder. First, unsuccessful event will cost us everything. We have to act now. And surgery was successful. My brother is reviving now, thriving now properly. So these two stories, what tell, what reveals about my leadership style? I feel that I'm a situational authoritarian. When the when I'm empowered with the knowledge, I don't I take the action boldly and decisively. I roar like a lion when the situation arises, and I feel that I have the knowledge and clear vision. So, what do you think? What type of leader you think you have in yourself? I, when the wind of doubts blow, I anchor myself with conviction. When others doubt, I take the reins. As the John Maxwell said, a true leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I leave you today with a question. Will you If life turns to you in a situation where you need to lead, will you rise to the occasion? Will you initiate the roar of responsibility? Let's embrace the leaders within us, take the decisive action, and pave the way for the better future, for the better tomorrow. Thank you so much. That's the end of my speech.
Woo woo! Thank you so much, Hasina. Let's give her a big hand as we initiate to roll into our own leadership, as we discover what our leadership style is. Woo woo woo! Thank you so much, Hasina, for that. We'll then move on to our final speaker, and that is Lame Mutetwa. But before she comes to the virtual stage, I would like to invite her evaluator, Carla, to please come to the virtual stage and tell us about Lame's speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Leah, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening and good night. The purpose of the project is for the member to develop and apply skills for coaching a fellow member or a person outside Toastmasters who can benefit from his or her expertise. The second part of the project is for the member to present a speech to share some aspect of his or her experience coaching, Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you so much for that. Ami is there and she's ready. So with the, just wanted to make sure you're spotlighted. So with the speech title, The First Step, Lame Mutetwa.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I want to share how my experience as a coach has taught me that improvement is not just about skills. A few years ago, I met someone who completely underestimated their potential. They hesitated to speak up front. They were full of self-judgment. They were full of fear of failure. They were weighed down by self-doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, that person was one of my first coaching clients. Today, they confidently lead presentation. Today, they continue to inspire their workmates, even more mentor some of their workmates. Watching that transformation makes me realize that positive coaching is powerful. The first step. Indeed, the first step for me was to build that confidence. Since they were overpowered by self-doubt, I believed and I chose that the first step is to build that confidence. I remember how they said to me, Lame, I can't speak in front of an audience. I will embarrass myself. I chose not to focus on what they couldn't do. I focused on what they could do. I asked them, what do you think is one small step that you can take to reach your goals? They decided to speak first in front of me to challenge themselves. They spoke in front of 2 people. They spoke in front of 5 people. Ladies and gentlemen, as a coach, I learned that small wins lead to a big breakthrough. And that confidence is built step by step, one speech after another, someone taking up a role after another. The second step, encouraging the growth mindset. One time, this client of mine was preparing for a very important presentation. He kept saying, what if I fail at this? What if I mess up? I looked at them and I said, messing up is not failure, but feedback. You take whatever feedback that you're going to get after giving your presentation, and you use that feedback to make yourself better. What was the learning point? That positive coaching, it's about reframing challenges for the benefit of your growth. It's not about perfection, but it's about being better than you were yesterday. The third step, or the third initiative, I learned that positive coaching, it's about building relationships. After choosing to listen to my clients, to listen to their fears, to listen to their fear of public speaking, after giving them an ear, I began to see them grow. I even remember my client saying, Lame, for the first time, I feel like someone really believes in me. That was a result of me listening to them and helping them identify their fears and how they can overcome their fears. Helping them realize that that little spark that you have in you, you can turn it into a flame. Ladies and gentlemen, coaching has taught me that when you help someone to grow, you're not only transforming their lives, but you are helping them transform their own lives to transform the next person's life. There is a replica of growth. See my client grow, improve in giving that presentation. It has not only benefited him, but it has benefited the team that he leads at his workplace. It has even inspired some of his workmates to pursue this journey of personal development, this journey of building their public speaking skills. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, positive coaching has taught me that improvement is a journey, not a destination. Like I said, it's about seeing that spark in someone and walking hand in hand with that person to turn that spark into a flame. In conclusion, I want to say to you, I want to challenge you. Next time you meet somebody saying, I can't, choose to be the person that will say to them, you can. Let's create a world where everyone feels empowered to rise above their fears and limitations. Positive coaching is the way to empowering that person. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Woo-woo. Let's give Lame a big hand. Woo-woo.
Wow, Lame.
Wow.
Wow.
Well done,
Amazing.
Lame. Yes. Let's continue in that positive mindset. Thank you. Helping us to, as the speech director said, the first step. I will now just share for all So that concludes our prepared speeches. So on the chat, I'm just going to share, if you are a guest or someone who wants to know more about Toastmasters, I've shared something in the chat. You can follow us, fill out our guest book so we can follow up with you. We can even join our WhatsApp group. So the information is in the chat. So you can just go ahead and then we'll definitely follow up with you if you are interested in joining Toastmasters. You have seen what our 5 speakers have been able to do this evening. It all starts with taking that one step. We'll now move on to, if you were listening really well, so we'll now move on to voting for our best effort speaker for the evening. So I'm just going to share the poll for that. So best effort speaker for the evening. So you should see something pop up on your screen. So it will just be open until maybe we reach 80% of the vote. They always say your vote matters. So you can vote. And as you are voting, since I was stepping in as the interim timer, I will just share the timing results for our prepared speakers. So our first speaker, Khalaletsa, her speech was 4 to 6 minutes. So she took 6 minutes, 6 seconds. Like I said, once you reach the maximum 6 seconds, 6 minutes, you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. So she spoke within time. Our next speaker, Tumelo, her speech length was 5 to 7. So she spoke for 6 minutes, 39. Tsepo Taba, also 5 to 7 minutes. She spoke for 6 minutes, 57 seconds. Hasina, it was 5 to 7 minutes. So she spoke for 7 minutes and 5 seconds. So she was still within the 30-second grace period. And then our final speaker, Lame, also 5 to 7 minute speech. So she spoke 6 minutes and 59 seconds. So also within time. So I can see in terms of our voting, we're sitting at 74%. And while you are still voting, we're going to move on to our next session, which is the impromptu session, table topics. So I'd like to invite our table topics master, Bonolo, to please come to the virtual stage to undertake the table topic session.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I will straight away get onto it. We've already introduced or explained what my role is. It is basically to allow you to practice your impromptu speaking. So I'm gonna ask to have about 4 volunteers. It could be fellow guests, fellow Toastmasters. You are welcome to participate. And our guests here present, you're also allowed to participate on this activity. So I'm gonna ask to have at least 4 participants on this one. And this is how I'll be having how I'll be facilitating my session rather. I would have a pool of questions, about 7 questions. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to select at least a question of your choice, a number of your choice. So I'm trying to look if anyone is up to volunteer for that. New year, new us. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's start strong. And by the way, my questions are basically around the theme of today, which is starting strong, start strong. So you can expect questions around starting strong. Anyone up for the challenge?
Someone in the chat said me, TN.
Okay, I can't see them. You can unmute yourself so that we can engage.
Hello, I can try.
Hi. All right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to select any number from 1 to 7.
5.
5. Okay. So the question says, What habits or routines do you believe are essential for starting strong? What habits or routines do you believe are essential for starting strong?
Okay, thank you for the question. I believe that for one to successfully start off strong, they need to habitualize journaling. They need to habitualize waking up in the morning, early in the morning. They need to habitualize, pardon me, they need to habitualize being fit or getting that fitness on track, so that they're able to, a healthy or a fit body translates to a fit mind. And I believe that for one to be able to start strong, they need to have a vision that they will ultimately work towards achieving by setting minor goals or objectives for them to successfully attain that vision they have in the end. That is all.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was so loaded. She mentioned journaling, morning. She mentioned having a fitness routine, having a vision that you follow. Thank you so much for participating in our activity. Anyone up for the challenge? I need 3 more people.
There's a hand from Tsapo.
Yes, Tepo, you can unmute yourself.
And then just note there's another hand, Tapiwa.
All right. So I'll take Tepo and then Tapiwa immediately after that.
And I see Talentle is also written in the chat.
Okay, so our number is... All right. Thank you so much for participating. Tepo, you can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi. You can choose any number between... 5 is gone, so any number between 1 and 7, except for 5.
1.
1, all right. So your question goes like, what does starting strong mean in your personal and professional life? What does starting strong mean in your personal and professional life?
Thank you so much for that question, because we are starting strong and letting go of old habits of the fear of taking unprepared speeches like this one. So I decided to raise my hand with the hopes that you don't see it. But because you asked a question along the lines of what does starting strong mean for my professional and personal level? For me personally, starting strong means setting my goals right and decluttering. To declutter for my year, it will help me focus on specific items that I really need to achieve in this particular year. Professionally, it means I set myself goals that will elevate me, either improve my work relations or get me into another dimension in my professional level. So in this particular year, starting strong means getting the qualifications that I need professionally, assessing the goals that I need to elevate professionally, and in my personal capacity, also to assess the areas of improvement that I need to make in my personal relationship. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tepo. Thank you for challenging yourself. That is a bold step that you took. Thank you. I would ask our next participant. I'm sorry I did not get your name right, but I did say who's gonna follow who. So you can unmute yourself. The next participant.
Hello. My name is Tapiwa.
Hi, Tapiwa. You can choose any question from 2 to 7, except 5. Don't mention 5.
All right, thank you very much. I'll choose number 3, please.
All right. Number 3 goes like, what role does mindset play in ensuring a strong start? And how can we cultivate a positive mindset? What role does mindset play in ensuring a strong start? And how can we cultivate a positive mindset?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. The role of a mindset is very vital in starting strong because it's from the mindset that you initiate ideas that you want to achieve in starting the year or starting the journey of life or starting any project that you want to venture throughout the year, especially if you want to start and end in a strong way. So mindset is where you conceptualize everything. So positive mindset is very important. And I believe that positive mind is the one that can lead you and give you the endurance to keep that initiative idea that I have created throughout the project or throughout the ambition that I want to achieve at the end of whatever period that I have set up. So mindset is very important because without a positive mindset, there's no organized ways of going about with what you want to achieve. There's no way of going around getting resources, getting that ability, getting that strength of overcoming whatever challenges that we encounter in starting or implementing the initiative idea that we have. So I believe that that strong mind is very important in us having and us being well prepared to achieve and to end with a strong prospect in the idea that you want to achieve. And I'm sorry, I didn't get the second question. Can you kindly repeat for me, please?
Okay, the last part was just, how do you cultivate that positive mindset?
Okay, thank you very much. To cultivate a strong mindset, you need to, I'll reference what Zitapo or said, you need to be intentional. You need to declutter our mind because in life we go through maybe different situations from last year. So we need to be able that we declutter and be intentional with what we are doing to achieve that strong mindset. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tapiwa. Thank you so much for challenging yourself to this impromptu speaking. I gave you something that you absolutely did not expect, and you challenge yourself to give the feedback or the response that you did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We can get on to our last participant. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. You can choose any number. I think we have 2, 4, 6, and 7.
I'd like to take number 7, please.
All right. Number 7 says, what's the most rewarding thing you've experienced after starting strong? Or on a goal, rather, on a goal or a task. What's the most rewarding thing you've experienced after starting strong on a goal or a task?
The most rewarding thing
you've experienced. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Most rewarding thing I experienced after starting strong on doing something. I'd say, you see, when you see it all works out. Like for instance, you plan on doing something, but you are not sure, but you always going to give that try, and then at the end you see it all goes like works out, and then it's exciting to see your efforts coming into life. So that feeling is amazing when you see all works out, even though at the first maybe you didn't have that belief or you didn't have that. But if you push yourself to start strong and push, the excitement it brings to see it all works out is amazing. And yeah, I think that's that. I'm not sure if I answered the question right, but yeah, the excitement you see when it all works out is amazing for me after starting strong.
Thank you, Ntlalentle. I don't know if I said your name right. You pardon me if I did not say it right. Thank you so much for engaging in our session. I truly appreciate it. I thank you. I think this is it. I will take it back to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bunolo, for undertaking that session. Very interesting questions, definitely, that have been raised. So I will now launch the poll for the best table topics speaker. And while I do, I would like to invite our Hack Master, Boipelo, to please come to the virtual stage and take us through the Hack Master session. So you'll see something pop up on your screen from the speeches that we heard from our impromptu speakers this evening. So Boipelo, you may start with the Hack Master session.
Thank you, Leah. And colleagues, it's now time for us to test our listening skills, as we indicated earlier on in the session. I will be asking you questions, and kindly unmute your mics and respond. You can respond immediately after every question. Okay, I will start by asking, what is Hasina's leadership style? Please unmute.
Situational authoritarian.
That word.
Wonderful. Yes, situational authoritarian, that one.
That way.
Wow. Yes, so Lami spoke about positive coaching. She mentioned some steps, I think 3 steps to that she applied to coach one of her mentees. What was the first step that she mentioned for positive that she used during positive coaching?
Build their confidence.
Building their confidence. Wonderful. That is the correct answer. How many items on Tumelo's vision board came to life? When she reviewed her vision, how many?
Half.
None.
More than
Zero.
half. Wow, you guys were listening. Eh? I'm quite impressed. How many speakers spoke about setting 2025 goals?
2.
3.
2.
3.
Okay, there were 2. There were 2 speakers. Yes. Okay, and Hasina mentioned she mentioned certain traits of a leader. Can you state those traits?
An initiator.
An initiator.
A true leader is the one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way.
Okay, yeah, she talked about action. She talked about, a leader should stand firmly. Somebody mentioned planning, journaling, vision board when they started their speech. Who mentioned that? Who started their speech by mentioning planning,
Table.
journaling.
Tap.
Table.
Tsepo. Wonderful. And who among our speakers is from Mlakwane?
Kalaletsang.
Kalaletsang. And what role is she being groomed for?
COO.
COO.
CEO.
Cool.
Which one?
COO.
COO.
Operating
COO.
office.
Yes, it's the COO role. Yes, COO, not CEO yet. Yes,
Okay,
she's
yes.
going to take the initiative to even go further, I suppose, to CEO one day. Okay, what was the name of the baby that Hasina delivered?
Tsunami.
Thank you very much. I'm quite impressed. You people have been listening. Please continue developing those listening skills that are going to help us build our communication skills. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that session, Webelo, and to you, our Toastmasters, our guests, visiting Toastmasters. It shows that indeed you were using your listening skills. I like that initiative part of you all. So we're going to move on to our final session of our meeting. So this is the evaluation and feedback, so which is referred to as our better listening segment. So I'd like to invite our general evaluator, Gerald, to please come to the virtual stage as you chair this session.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. It gives me great privilege to go into the general evaluations of this meeting. And for the benefit of the guests, this is a section where we review the whole meeting, starting firstly from the evaluations. So now I would like to call on the evaluators of the different speakers. And firstly, I would like to call on Lame for her feedback on Galaletsang's speech. Lame, over to you.
It looked like Lame dropped off the call, but she's joining in right now. So Lame, you have been called to the virtual stage. Hi, Lame. We're waiting for your evaluation.
I'm not sure if the sound is on yet, so if she's not ready, we can go to the second evaluation.
Sorry about that. Got kicked out of the meeting.
Not a problem. So Lame, this is your opportunity to render feedback on Galaletsang's speech.
Okay, let me switch my video on. Okay, thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening once more. I had the privilege of evaluating Galaletsang's speech, which she was giving her icebreaker, her very first speech in Toastmaster. A glimpse into who I am. That was the title of her speech. Did I really get a glimpse of who Galaletsang is? 150%. The objective of Galaletsang's speech was for her to introduce herself to the club or to everyone, and she surely did a good job. Now I know that Galaletsang is 33 years old. We all know that she's a young lady or a God-fearing lady who hails from the village of Lakwane. I appreciated the fact that she mentioned her village and even got to share good aspects of her village with people that are not from Botswana. We know what you believe in, Galaletsang, that we are the decisions that we make. You believe in growth. We know that you're a change agent who believes in change. We know that you are an aspiring CEO. You aspire to be a CEO for one of the esteemed banks. We know that you have completed your MBA. We have a degree in business administration. We know that you work in the banking industry and you have 7 years working in that industry. You also got to tell us and share with us that you're a resilient person, and you began to give even examples of how you failed in part of your education, but you never gave up, but you continued working hard to really show that you're a resilient person. We know that Kgalalesan loves reading, and she's currently reading Diary of a CEO. I truly believe that Leah would really want to incorporate you in her book club because she's also loves reading. I suspect she's on her 50th book at this moment. We know that Kgalalesan lives watching series, and I appreciated that when you concluded your speech, you actually made us aware that you are concluding your speech by saying you believe that anybody can be the best version of themselves as long as they engage and are committed to their personal development. All in all, I can say, Kgalalesan, you really achieved the objectives of your speech, which was for you to introduce yourself to the club. And I really have a glimpse of who Kgalalesan is. I wish you all the best in your next speech, and I'm looking forward to hearing your next speech. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Lami, for that feedback. I would now like to call on our second evaluator, Gerald, which will give feedback on Tumelo's speech. Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. It gives me great pleasure to give feedback on the speech that was initiated by Tumelo. What truly stood out about your speech, Tumelo, is how significant it was. You started out by asking the audience a question, and you provided us an opportunity through the chats to just reflect on that question. And again, what was so significant was that as you went through your speech, that question kept on hovering in the back of our minds. So we could continuously relate to what you brought to the table. If I could sum up your speech in 3 words, it was dynamic, progressive, and inclusive. Dynamic because it was so broad. You touched on the book by Paulo, the Alchemist, and you sort of related that book to the process that you followed. You shared some of your personal experiences as well. It was so progressive because you took us through different steps of how this journey that you posed to us could be followed. What made your speech inclusive was that you engaged and interacted with the audience. And I think that really is a telltale of a really, really good speech. I appreciated how before you went over sharing 4 steps with us, you sort of told us to command your ear. And what was so interesting about that was you didn't just leave us with the call to action. You actually said to us, now let me tell you how to do this. And this is where you took us through the 4 very simple, practical steps on how to establish 2025 for ourselves. So I really want to acknowledge and appreciate that dynamic around your speech. What I also appreciated about your speech was the fact that you did not read these things from a book and came to share with us your experience from the book, because you shared practical, real life, tested tools that you have applied and initiated in your life. And sort of it was a case study on the life of Tumelo. So that's something that really stood out for me as well. Areas where I really think you can improve on your speech is the same as I'm doing now. I'm trying to incorporate gestures, but I'm sitting so close to the screen. And that sometimes is the challenge if one wants to be audible and also make eye contact, that you sometimes miss out on the gestures. Excellent speech, and I think that if you included gestures, it would have enhanced your speech significantly. So I really, really think that is something to consider going forward. Something else I really just want to challenge you with. When you started sharing with us the 4-step formula, I think perhaps the next time, try to there remind the audience as well that they are part of the journey. So share with us, perhaps, as I reflect on these 4 steps and my personal experiences, would you mind taking an opportunity to reflect on your journey as well? That, I believe, would really make sure that we walk hand in hand with you through those steps. And when you get to the call for action, which you left us with, it would inspire hope, and it would inspire initiative, and it would inspire purpose. Overall, I think an outstanding speech that really, really challenged us to do better in 2025. And also for us to ask 2025, what is it that it can bring to us? Thank you so much for that speech. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator. Our next evaluator is Mikau, that is going to give feedback on a speech delivered by Tsepo. Mikau, over to you.
Good evening, and thank you once again, Mr. General Evaluator. I take pleasure in giving feedback to Tsepo, who was giving a speech titled Winning Starts at Your Beginning. Tsepo's purpose for the speech was to produce a speech on any subject or topic and get feedback and make sure that she incorporates that feedback in the next session. Tsepo gave us a very elaborate rendition of what it takes for you to succeed. She opened with a countdown of the year, which was rather engaging. It was very, very thought-provoking as to how we would ordinarily start the year. Tsepo then went on to give us an example of the book that she is reading or that she's referencing, which is Robin Sharma. And much like the other speaker, I want to believe that was somewhat relatable as a motivational book. It made sure that we know that the speaker is very well informed of her content. The speaker's suggestions were very much relatable, where, she made mention of the fact that, for you to succeed, you just have to start with a very small, intricate task of making your day, as a simile to, taking small bite-sized options. I really loved that aspect of your speech. And then we were also given tips on how to ensure that we set our year for success by being smart, by quitting bad habits, by decluttering. I generally could resonate with that in terms of what I was advised or what I took away from that speech. I definitely believe that the speech objective was met in terms of a well-researched subject matter. I think what I also noticed that is Tsepo excelled at the use of gestures. I almost pitied her when she exclaimed her embarrassment that, 14 days into the year, she has not fulfilled what she had set out on her vision board. She also engaged the audience by gestures of moving closer to the camera, which was somewhat captivating. Her topic was very interesting and relative to the topic and the subject of the day. What I may want to give as something to work on for Tsepo is to use intonation a little bit more. I did hear the use of vocal variety, but I wanted to see more of it, especially at the end of the speech, where, emphasis was needed in making sure that that advice or that recommendation was shared. The closing of the speech also was a call to action on the part of the audience. And at the start of the speech, Tepo did mention that she did not start out so well. So a personal anecdote could have helped, as to how she is overcoming those limitations that she had set out at the beginning of the speech. So to challenge yourself, Tepo, I encourage you to incorporate some humor, maybe perhaps in your speech in future. Thank you. And back to you, General Evaluator of the Day.
Thank you so much, Mikhail. And now we are going to ask our fourth evaluator, Bashati, to share their feedback. Bashati, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Privileged to be evaluating you, Hassan. And I'll be sharing where I believe you excelled, where according to your delivery, areas to improve, and one recommendation to take away. Once again, I apologize, I'm not on camera due to load shedding in my side. Hassan, I believe that you have achieved the purpose of your project, which was for you to share the leadership style that you have, of which it has been said to be situational authoritative leader. You demonstrated and shared this through giving us scenarios, two scenarios whereby you as a leader were leading and shared how you made decisions through those circumstances that you were in. You also delivered your speech with humor, incorporating a laughter, especially when you said the outcome of the baby that you delivered was named Tsunami. You also engaged us as the audience with questions, which made us feel part and parcel of the delivery of your storytelling. Now, going on to the areas that I believe that you can improve on, I would like to encourage you to incorporate vocal variety. I'll give an example. A situation where you're experiencing the predicament and convincing the family and your boss to perform a C-section was quite a very scary one. That was an opportunity for you to change the tone of the speech delivery. And I'd also like to ask that as you put a title to the speech, I believe that I have missed the clear connection of the title with the speech content. I would probably recommend that probably at the end, you tie the title of the speech with the content that you have delivered. Now, what is my recommendation to you to make you go greater and greater in your speech delivery? Is that as you are sharing some nuggets of wisdom, for example, as you were telling us what you believe a leader is, it is very important for you to also share the source so that we can also go and reference back to. That is my delivery of your speech, Hassan. I hope it's helpful as you continue delivering great speeches in Toastmasters. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Bashati, for that feedback on Hassan's. Our final evaluator, Carla, will grace us with her presence when she gives feedback to Lame on her speech delivery. Thank you, Carla.
Experience is not about skills. This was a quote from Toastmaster Lamy. Toastmaster Lamy, this evening, you graced a virtual space with enthusiasm. I felt as though you are a professional speaker. Every word that came from your mouth drew my attention. I pressed pause on what I was doing and gave my full attention to your presentation. First steps. I love the topic of your speech, which outlined throughout your presentation this evening. Your first step, you made mention of step to feel confident. And I really believe that you are a confident speaker. As you spoke without any
hesitation. Encouraging the growth mindset as a coach. You encourage those persons who are afraid to speak, and you spoke about encouraging their growth mindset. You said also small wins lead to a big breakthrough. And indeed, I must acknowledge you on this area. When you help someone to grow, you are not only transforming their lives. Improvement is a journey, not a destination. Choose to be a person who say, I can. Positive coaching is the way to encourage members. These were some of the things you used throughout your presentation. There are areas of encouragement I would like you to focus on. The first area of encouragement is to focus on one role. I noticed this evening that you were a speech evaluator as well as a presenter. Take into consideration that your presentation as a speech evaluator did not affect your presentation this evening. I firmly believe that you were prepared, you practice, and you present like a boss. The second area I would like you to focus on is to involve the member of the audience. For example, Toastmaster Leah, what is your coaching style? I believe this would have allowed us, the member of the audience, to really feel more of your presentation. Notwithstanding Toastmaster Lamy, you did an exceptional job, and I believe that you are on the road for great things in Toastmasters. One again, I want to encourage you to focus on one role. Secondly, to involve the members of the audience so we can be aware. Just before you transition to the next country, I would like you to collect your visa because you've been promoted for the next presentation. General Evaluator, over to you.
Cara, thank you so much for that outstanding feedback. And that concludes the evaluations of the speeches that was delivered. At this point in time, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I would like to encourage you to vote for who you believe was the evaluator that shared the most impact in the evaluations to the speakers. So as the poll comes up, we will have a few minutes until we reach about 90% of votes so that we can then progress with this meeting. As we take this opportunity to vote, I would like to go into the next section and give an opportunity to our counter as well as the grammarian to share their feedback of this meeting.
Thank you, General Evaluator. My camera is just messed up, so I may not be able to share, but I'll just go through my report. Bonolo, I'll start with Bonolo Kwapa because this is just how I wrote it. She had 7 R's and 2 ums. She didn't utilize the word of the day. Then Leah, 3 gap fillers, R's, ums, and she utilized the word of the day once. Chimelo, great speech, obviously, as has been highlighted. I just want to give some examples of how she utilized the English language in such a remarkable way, like using the words which some can take to be like well known, but I found it to say to a visitor, they could have some serious meaning, like the word obsessed, clear as a day, smaller bites of goals, and also the quote that she gave, life is fair, because it is unfair to everybody. I really found that to be quite interesting and great usage of the English language. There were no gap fillers, Tumelo, well done. And then Halala saying, she utilized quite great usage of the English language as well, but just 1 or 2 things to really take note of. She had this quote. She said, who we are is about our experience, values, and decisions that we make. Wow, what a great use of the English language. But just one area that I know that Khalad saying and you want to pay attention, I think you wanted to say inspiring and you said expiring. So it's something for you to pay attention. And in terms of the gap fillers, you heard 43 gap fillers. And Tepo, you had 2 gap fillers, but you obviously did impress. You used the English language in such an amazing way. Vague goals, declutter. Of course, that is the word of the evening to me. Well done. I really, really felt it when you said declutter. And I think it's such a great word. Asina, 1 gap filler, and some great usage of the English language. You used the word of the day once, and you used quotes or adages like roar like a lion. What type of a leader you think you have in yourself? I found that to be very rich and something that is not a generic or common way of employing the English language in your speech. Lame Mtetwa, only 2 gap fillers, of course, an amazing speech. But I just took a couple of quotes as well, weighed down by self-doubt. Small wins lead to big breakthroughs. Messing up is not failure, but feedback. Improvement is a journey, not a destination. I can go on and on, but well done on the usage of the English language in such an amazing and catchy way. Gerald, you had 3 gap fillers. Mikali, you heard 17 gap fillers. Bashati, no gap filler. Kala, no gap filler. And in terms of our table topics, Tapua, you had 2 gap fillers. You used the word of the day once. Talentle, you had 10 gap fillers. Boipelo, you had 2 gap fillers. Utilized the word of the day once. Other than that, well done to everybody for really paying attention to how this English language should be utilized and enriching your speeches. I really enjoyed all of them, and well done. And let's keep going. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much to Albert Clow for the detailed feedback. Just wanted to check if you had count of the use of the word of the day, Albert Clow.
Yes, I did. I think I was highlighting. It wasn't greatly used. I indicated Leah used it once, Boipelo once, Tapiwa once, and who else? I don't seem to be having anybody. So it wasn't fully used, but these are the people who utilized the word.
Thank you so much for that. Next up, I would like to give over to our timekeeper for the report. Over to you, Leah.
Thank you so much. So I'll just share the times from the table topics. So TN took 53 seconds, Tepo 1 minute 35, Tapiwa 2 minutes 30, and Tla, I hope that's the correct pronunciation, 1 minute 12. And then the evaluators, our first evaluator, Lame, took 2 minutes 41 seconds. Then Gerald, 3 minutes 58, so a little bit over the 3 minute 30. Cabello, 4 minutes 30, so also over. Cabello, you're giving an icebreaker speech. Then Bashati, 2 minutes 37, and Kala, 3 minutes and 3 seconds. And then our grammarian, our counter combined together. I gave Helper a total of 4 minutes, and he spoke in 3 minutes 58 seconds. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Leah, for that. And in the interest of time, I would just also then like to close off by saying that the meeting started on time, and that was really excellent with the whole protocols that was observed in the beginning. Outstanding speeches, definitely something to learn from. Excellent feedback and a meeting that was very, very well run. With that said, back to you, Madam Toastmaster, to hand over to the President. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And like you said, I'll hand over to Tumelo, our president. Or Tumelo, should I share our results before you give the closing remarks?
Yes, please. Awards and recognitions.
Yes, okay. I'm just trying to, okay. So in terms of our awards and recognition, so we voted this evening for our best evaluator, best table topic speaker, and best effort speaker. So in terms of your results this evening, let me just share the slides. Okay, share. So we'll start with best evaluator. I think that's how it's normally set up. So according to your votes, it was Hala. And then, so well done, well done, well done. And then our best, I think, table topics, we have Tapiwa. Well done. And our best effort speaker of the night is Tumelo. Well done. And then, as always, we always want to appreciate our Toastmasters that help us. So thank you, Helper, well, for taking up the role of grammarian, and also the R&R counter, and Kabelo for being an evaluator, Kala for being an evaluator, Abashati also, thank you so much for being an evaluator, and Gerald, of course, for being the general evaluator and the evaluator. And before I hand over to our president, as the putting on my hat as the VPM, want to just recognize 3 new members. So one of them has actually given a speech today. That's Kaletsang Mutusi. Welcome to Gaborone Toastmasters. We also have Vipilo today. And also Tapiwa, who gave a table topic. So hopefully in our next meeting, we'll be hearing from our other 2 new members giving their icebreaker speeches. Welcome to Gaborone Toastmasters. Over to you, Tumelo.
Thank you, Leah. Welcome to the 3 new members. I was also going to add that to my announcement. But other than that, the next announcement is that our next meeting is 2 weeks from now, Tuesday, the 28th of January, right on this platform. I look forward to seeing you again. We had a great turnout tonight. At some point, we had 44 people on the call, and that's quite impressive. And it shows that indeed we're starting strong. I just wanted to say, as we conclude tonight's meeting, I want to thank each and everyone for making it a success. It is indeed showing we're starting the year well, and it shows our intention to grow. We are proud of our new member who gave an icebreaker speech. We know that is not easy at all, but we welcome her and look forward to walking this journey with her. And indeed, we set the tone for our year because we had such a wonderful meeting. I have no qualms about it. I look forward to seeing you again. Like I said, let's build on tonight's strong start. And good night, and see you at our next meeting. Guests are free to stay behind and interact with us. But before you go, could I just ask that we switch on our cameras, those that are still on the call, so we get a quick picture for our thumbnail. We have a YouTube channel. Please follow us on YouTube. We are busy here at Gaborone Toastmasters. Yes. Leah, are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. So
just waiting for more cameras to go on.
Okay.
I will just take what Okay, someone left the mic on. All right, let me just take what I can see. All right.
Say Toastmasters, yay!
It's already taken.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good night. See you at our next meeting. Guests, please feel free to stay behind.
If you have any questions about how to join Gaborone Toastmasters.
Zolile said he's interested, so I'd like for him to stay. Zolile Harvey. Hi, Vivian. Do you want to join?
Muted.
No, I have to quickly rush.
Yeah,
definitely want to join. I wanted to join, but unfortunately, I have to take another call.
Okay, no, thank you.
Next time, thank you.
Hi, you can follow us. Hi, Zolile.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Right. Yes, Zoe?
Yes, I'll definitely like to join, Emma.
Ezra, thank you for your interest. So, how the club works is Leah is our VPM. She has shared several links. I think she's typing her phone number right now. She's the one who handles
Yes.
onboarding. But the way it works is that we're part of an international organization. So, we pay a membership fee, a once off membership fee of $20. That's about 280 pula. And then our year is divided into 2 terms. So each 6 months, we pay a subscription fee of $60. So that translates to about $10 per month.
Okay.
And $60 is about 8, 40, 50,
Okay.
around there, depending on the exchange rate. So Leah will explain because the terms are not exactly set as a year. So she'll advise on how to pay. We're already in the middle of one term. So there's 3 months left in this term, and then there'll be another up to September. So she will advise best, and you'll choose
Okay.
how to join. But she sends you a form, you fill this
So I
in,
can
and
contact
then
Leah directly.
yes, she sent her number to the chat.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes. So just WhatsApp Leah. Our communication platform is WhatsApp. So just WhatsApp her, and then she'll be able to assist.
Okay, great stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you for joining the call tonight. How did you find our meeting, if I may ask?
I found it a bit lengthy, but I quite enjoyed the interaction part, like the feedback, like the speeches seem to be long in terms of like timing, but when you
Yeah.
actually listen to them, they're short.
Yes, they are. And when you're giving them, they're even shorter.
Yes, yes.
Once you get the hang of it, that is.
Okay, cool.
So, yes. Hi, Carla. Thank you for visiting us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks,
Yes.
Toastmaster
Please,
Leah.
yes, if you're on the WhatsApp group for today's meeting, please share your club details and we'll visit you. We'll pay back the favor.
Sure. By the time my club meeting starts, you will be in your bed. It's
Oh,
7 p.m., which is
yes.
nightfall at my end. You probably
Yes.
would be heading to Disneyland.
Yeah. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from the Corporate Republic of Guyana.
Oh, wow. I think it's the first that we've had someone from that far, I think. Lovely to join you. For you to have joined us, I mean. Hi,
There's a hand.
Ritzy.
There's a
There's
hand.
a hand from
Toby.
Ntombi. Hi, Ntombi. Please unmute, Ntombi. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me now?
I can't, I'm not sure I can
Hello?
hear. Hi, Ntombi. Yes?
Hi, Kimelo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. My phone is a bit challenged. My name is Ndombi. I'm calling in from Rustenburg.
Oh, hi,
Helper
Ntombi.
invited me. Hi, my dear. It's my very first
Yes.
I didn't even know what to expect. I tried Googling Toastmasters because I've never heard
Yes.
of it before until Helper told me about it, I think last month. It was really a
Yes.
pleasure to be in. I really enjoyed the topic. And I think what I liked most about this platform is how people just come in and express themselves, which
Yes.
I really enjoyed. And I think I'm going to learn a lot and grow from this one. And I'm looking forward to joining. I came in
Yes.
not even knowing what to expect. I came in
Yes.
very empty. Like I came in not knowing nothing. But I think the
Mm.
interactions were great. And
Yeah.
I think it's gonna challenge my listening skills better because all my listening is challenged. But thank you, my dear. I enjoyed being in, and I'm gonna pop in again next time. And I'm looking forward to being part of you guys.
Yes, please. Please do visit again. You're free to visit. And then we can also advise on other clubs if we know of any that would work best for you. But you're also, once a member of Toastmasters, you can participate anywhere in the world. You heard Carla, she's calling in from Guyana. So that's quite far.
Yes.
But we loved having you. I'm glad you enjoyed the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Yes. Hi, Kifilo Mahosi. How did you find the meeting? Kifile. Okay. Hi, Ritzi. I saw you commented on LinkedIn. How did you find our meeting? Bautwani. Mr. Bautwan, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, great. I can hear
Can you hear
you.
me? All right,
Yes.
great stuff. No, all right, that's right. My name is Residisi Trebautlwane. I'm at Gumare, north of Maui,
Ooh.
and that's where I've connected. And I got to know
Yeah.
about your club through LinkedIn and
Mhm.
Facebook. And it's my first time. It was interesting interaction. And yes, I'm interested to become a member of your club.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm looking forward for the next meeting on the 28th because I was just
Yeah.
observing. And yeah,
Mhm.
your levels are
There's a
high.
lot happening.
A lot is happening. How to present. I've learned a lot.
Yes, please. You're so far away. You're in Gumare, but like I said, as a member of Toastmasters, you can participate from anywhere in the world and you're free to join our club. I take it you've registered, so you'll keep getting emails. So you'll keep
Okay.
getting reminders to join the meeting. You are welcome to visit as many times as you want until you commit, but we are happy to have you.
Thank you. And then I'll further communicate with Leah, like you mentioned.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay,
Hi,
good night.
Lucy. Good night. Hi, Lucy. Oh, she's gone. People are getting off the call. Hi, Michael. Oh, Lucy, please unmute. You're muted. Leah,
Yes.
I'm asking her to unmute. Can you help?
Oh, okay. I've pressed ask to unmute.
Yeah.
I've given her the instruction.
Yes.
So she should be able to see something on her screen. Maybe it's with the phone. I
Yeah.
know the phone can be challenging. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like it's,
sometimes it pops up and then it goes away.
but I am sending her the request. But I guess it's not going through.
Yeah. Hi, Michael. Thank you for joining us. Is he still there?
Thank you guys for having me. Sorry, I've gotten into another call now from work.
Okay.
So yeah, I was quite elated to evaluate today. First time doing it outside my club, so that was quite interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm actually taking an IELTS assessment. I was telling Bashati on my WhatsApp, I'm like, oh, I'm so unnerved.
Yeah. Shame. Sorry.
Yeah.
But please
Yeah.
send us the calendar to joining
Yes.
finances meetup so that
I'm
we can also pencil them in.
I'm going to do that. Our first meeting is this Thursday, actually.
Okay.
Yes,
No.
that should be hybrid. So we'd love for you guys to join us. And
All
anyone
right.
who's remained on the call.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That would be great.
All right.
And then I see Nhlalenhle Nkosi is still on the call. He gave a table topic.
Yes. Good evening, Tumel and the
Hi.
team.
Good
Yes.
evening.
Yes. This session for me is my first time, by the way.
Mhm.
Was invited by my good doctor, Dr. Helper Jo.
Oh.
Yes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to be part of the team. I've been wanting to join Toastmasters because part of what I do requires me to be able to communicate myself clearly. And on the first
Yes.
session, I've seen on, like, especially you, Tumelo, how you communicate, and everyone else who just communicated, how you guys manage your pace throughout your speech is amazing. Because we sometimes we speak fast and then we sometimes not audible, and what we're trying to convey doesn't come out as we wish. So I'm really looking forward to learn that, and I'm happy to be part of the team. It was amazing.
Yes, please. Thank you so
Wow,
much.
that's
Helper is doing a lot for us. Yeah.
yeah.
But it takes time and practice, but surely you do get there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks.
Mm.
Helper, is there something you want to say? I see you're still on the call.
Oh, hey, hi. Hi,
Hi.
Tumele. Hi there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so far I am loving the experience. Yeah, the club is really growing and we really appreciate. And also just one other thing.
Mm.
I was doing my speech and I'm wondering if the same evaluator, I'm gonna get the same evaluator for my speech because it's
You're doing
evaluation.
a second speech.
Yeah, for
It's
my
project 4.
yeah, project 4.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it's highly unlikely you will get the same evaluator, but they will hopefully have the evaluation sheet from your current evaluator, so they'll be able to read the comments that were made so that they can evaluate you on your second speech. So does that mean you want to present in our next meeting? So you just get it over and done with.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, please. Yes.
And also, Tepo, you're allowed to also add your commentary. You can tell them to look out for, if your evaluator said gestures, for example, you can tell them you want particular attention paid to gestures, something like that. You're allowed to say that.
Oh,
Mm.
great advice. All right, thank you. I hope you get the evaluation sheets.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely follow up on that. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
My responsibility.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night,
Well
guys.
done.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for visiting. And you see, referrals, LinkedIn, all of these things work. I invited my colleague, but she didn't speak. She was just here, Kifile. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just glad she came.
lots of people volunteered for table topics. I was actually surprised. I was like, wow, this is
Yeah,
great.
new year, new us.
Yeah.
But Lucy sent a message in the text. She said she's struggling with her phone, but I think she'll also reach out. She's free
Yeah.
to join our guest WhatsApp, and so are you, Rebautan. But we can chat further. You will get emails. Thank you and good night.
All right. So since it's almost 20 past 8, I guess then I will close the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. Can